everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for the final week of spooky season, which is very sad to be saying, but it is the last week in October, so it's the end of spooky season. So I thought for the last week I would delve back into the creepy side. Woo! So today I'm going to be doing a missing eyeball slash gouged out eyeball makeup look, which sounds just as disgusting as it looks, so you're in for a treat today. So this is a makeup look that I actually did on my sister many years ago now. I've never done it on myself, but it is actually a fairly easy makeup look to achieve. So it's kind of more simplistic than some of the other ones that I've done that involved like special effects makeup. So I thought it'd be fun just to show you kind of a more easy one to achieve. So yeah. So obviously I think it is important to say right now, this is a gory video. If you don't like gore, if you don't like blood, if you are squeamish, do not watch any further. I'll link my spooky season playlist up here in the wee I button. You can go in there and there's some non-gory ones there that you can go and check out. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to tell the difference between which ones are gory and which ones aren't by the thumbnail, so enjoy that. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing that you are going to want to do is get a piece of fabric. I'm using just an old clean sock and cut a kind of circle shape into it. Once you've kind of got that shape, you're then going to go in and cover your eye in a black grease paint. This is just to make sure that once the fabric's on, you can't see your eye underneath it. And then I'm going in with Pros-Aide, putting that around the edge of the black and onto the fabric. And then I'm just sticking that down. So when I was cutting the fabric, I just kind of measured it roughly and then like put it against my eye and then went back in and trimmed any bits, but just trim it like slowly but surely, just so it's to the size that you want. And then I'm just covering the edges again in some Pros-Aide, just to make sure that they don't lift at all. So now I'm going in with Sculpt Gel to kind of create this raised effect around the kind of black part. So I'm just mixing equal parts of A and B, and then I'm taking a wee metal spatula and spreading it around the edge. If you didn't have Sculpt Gel, you could use liquid latex with some cotton wool. You could use Cine Wax, but it might be more likely to crack. Or you could use eyelash glue and just like squeeze it. If you've got like a tube of eyelash glue, just squeeze it round in a circle. But I'm just using Sculpt Gel just because I prefer to work with this. So yeah, I just applied that all around the edge to kind of hide the seam of where the fabric meets the skin. And then I'm just blending the edges of the Sculpt Gel out, which is really easy to do, and it gets really thin and smooths into your skin really easily. So it's another reason I like it. And then I'm just kind of building up areas that I think would be a bit heavier. So kind of underneath my brow and then on the lower outer corner, those bits are a bit more fleshy, so there would be more like loose skin there, which is disgusting, but hey ho. So now onto the other eye, I'm kind of creating a bit of trauma because I can't imagine if you had this done you'd be very happy about it. I think you would probably cry. I know I would. So I'm just taking a black pigment and mixing it with the Mehron mixing liquids, and this is kind of like watercolour. So I apply it close to the lash line and then I take a clean brush and some of that mixing liquid and like drip it onto the pigment and thin it out, and then I just use my fingers just to blend out any bits that I think are too pigmented or I want to look a bit more messy. So I'm doing that on the lower lash line and on the upper lid as well, just to make it look like I've been crying. Like I've been through some serious trauma here. So then I'm going in with a alcohol activated paint. This is the Kryolan colour, I'll put it in the description box. But I'm first going in with a kind of red colour and I'm putting that on the inner corner and the outer corner. Obviously you've got a lot of blood vessels around your eye, so like those would, any trauma makeup that was kind of around that area would in turn make your eye irritated or bruise, so that's what I'm doing now. So yeah, I took a red first and kind of similar to the tears, dab the colour on, thin it out, use your finger to kind of spread it out evenly. I wanted to use these just because they're a bit more realistic. I think sometimes grease paints can be too heavy, so I just wanted to use this for a change today. But you could absolutely use like grease paints or eyeshadow for this. So then I'm going back in with my mascara and messing up the eyelashes a bit and kind of joining them together. And then I even took some of the mascara onto my skin and just kind of blended that out using my finger, just very messily applying it. So now that the Sculpt Gel has set, I'm going in and powdering it lightly just to take away some of the tackiness, but just very lightly powdering it. And then using those same alcohol activated paints, I'm going in first with the red and kind of making the area around the eye look a bit more irritated. So again, just applying the colour, blending it out with my finger or taking some of the activator over it just to make it look a bit less pigmented. And then I'm going in with a burgundy and just applying this kind of around the deeper part, so any areas where the silicone, like the Sculpt Gel, looks like it's very raised away from the skin, applying it underneath there, or any areas on the silicone that is kind of grooved a bit, putting it into the groove just to make it look a bit more 3D. And then I'm also darkening up the inner corner because there's a lot of blood vessels there, so trying to make it a bit more realistic, I suppose. And then I am taking some of that red colour and kind of applying it as a wash underneath the eye just to kind of give a kind of backdrop to the blood that we're going to be putting on later. And then I'm doing the same thing as I did on the other eye with the black, because I imagine if this is going to happen to you, you'd be crying beforehand, so you know those stains still have to be there. So then once you have kind of done that, you're going to want to mess up the rest of your face. So I just took my hand and literally just rubbed it all over my face and just tried to make my makeup look as like worn in as possible. And then I'm taking a black grease paint and I'm putting this just over the fabric, just any areas that have been covered by the alcohol paint or the powder, just covering that up. And then I'm taking some Woundfiller and applying this in the ridge along the outside where the fabric meets the Sculpt Gel. And I kind of use a metal tool and I also use my fingers just to try and get it to stick in place because it was not sticking to the fabric, so just smoosh it on in there. Disgusting, I know. And then I went in with some fresh scratch just for some kind of goopy lovely blood, and just I kind of applied this more around the bottom of the eye to make it kind of look like it was weeping out, so yeah, just applied that. I did apply it kind of all over but mostly at the bottom of the eye, and then use my finger again just to blend it out. So then, just to kind of, for finishing touches, I just took a kind of red grease paint on the centre of my lips, just to make it look like I'd been biting my lips or something, because I was like in pain or nervous, or just to kind of add something to the look. And then finally, I'm taking some blood and putting this around the ridge, so you can really saturate that kind of wee gap between the Sculpt Gel and the fabric. Just applying it around there, and also dripping it down from that as well. And you don't want to go too overboard with the blood because you've got a lot of textures going on, but a healthy amount. And then also put some of that on my lips just to make it look like I'd kind of broken the skin as well. And there you have it, that is the finished look. As always, all the products that I've used will be listed down below, as well as all of my social medias. Make sure you give me a like and a follow on them, and make sure you subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I hope you have all enjoyed this disgusting makeup look, which I think actually is quite achievable, so have fun with this one. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video for another spooky season makeup. Bye! God, I actually look nice for once. Aww. the most normal I've looked for the past like 10 videos. What does an itchy nose mean? Does it mean I'm going to be angry? Better not be. I've been in a good mood these past few days. I don't really want to be angry. Again, I have issues. Shake your body, baby, do like conga. No, you can't control yourself any longer. I'm making this look a lot more difficult than it is, aren't I? And we mix. Ooh. You're nasty. It does. Oh no, it doesn't. Does it? No. No? No. This is disgusting. Well, it's the glam Halloween looks officially over. Looking good, Skye.